That's my alumni, you know what I mean?
Target locked. Ready to fire.
You can't handle the truth.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's Friday. It's November 28th. Out of my turkey coma. I'm here. What's up? How was everyone's Thanksgiving, first of all? Did everyone have a great Thanksgiving? And then secondly, I'm wearing the wrong hat, man. Why am I wearing my cruise hat? I wore the blue shirt today to wear the chain link hat. There we go. Chain link. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys, set your scales back 30 pounds, because it's that season. So make sure, if you haven't done so yet, set your scales back 30 pounds. You'll be okay for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Not a lot of you, but I appreciate you guys that are here. Let's go talk about what's going on today. I'm watching this box here. Guys, we came in and I actually talked about this. I'll break it down here in a minute, but we're back in this resistance range, and I got a nice red box up there. I think this is where we're going to actually get some resistance. We're already seeing it happening in the golden pocket. So we're going to talk about that today. Going to talk about what happened with the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange Futures Exchange. We'll talk about that today. We've also got some stuff on Bitcoin. Two articles. One says we may be down more of the rest of this year. And the other one saying we may go to 100,000 this year. So we'll take a look at both those articles, get both those perspectives, see what it's all about, and then head on over to check out the charts and stuff. But guys, we got not a lot, but a little bit to go over today. We're going to talk about it here. Let's go ahead and kick it off. You guys know what time it is. Class in session. Let's go. It works. I love it when it works. All right, guys, welcome. Appreciate you. As you guys know, this show always brought to you by Chart Prime. Thank you guys for sponsoring me over at Chart Prime. Appreciate you sponsoring the whole channel. And we got the Alex though crypto gang rolling in here too. Shout out to the otters, the OGs, and they're coming in right now. I love it. It's great. Appreciate everything. Let's go talk about what's going on. First, let's get the chat up here. Get the chitty chat up here. We got Lunar Beaches in here. CJ Taylor, what's up, Clyde? How you doing, man? We got Ada Ace in the house with us right now. He said, "What an entire turn of events in 1 week, Arcantano." Yeah, I saw some stuff on that. I didn't do a whole lot of research into it, but you know me and Ada, man. I like the guy. Not a big fan of the token, like the ecosystem. Not a big fan of the price action. So I'll leave that one alone for right now. I'll let you be the foremost expert on all things Cardano 808. I appreciate you. Snowboard Utah joining us here. Decent Crypto in the house with us. I saw BC Port Corp. I saw Buck saying good morning, chart nerds. What's up, Buck? Appreciate you guys. Awesome that everybody's rolling in here. Let's go talk about what's going on the news, though. I want to get into all that. First, we're going to take a look at the chart, and then we'll get in on the news. We talked about this on Friday. Let me see if I can bring this over here. Yep, there we go. I want to bring this video up and play this video real fast, because on Friday, we talked about what this thing looks like if we got this pump here. Is it gonna let me do it here? Probably not. I don't know what the F I'm doing. There we go. Let's bring this in over here, and we'll talk about why I was watching this level. Man, you do not want to work with me at all, do you? Okay, fine. There we go. Oh, look at that. It worked. All right, let's go in here and just talk about this. We'll show this real fast here. That should work. That should work. I actually think that we might get a little pump up off of this going into Black Friday or going into Thanksgiving. We'll talk about what it normally looks like. Even in 2021, right at the market top, by the way, we got a little pump up, about a 4% move to the upside. Let's see here, 4% move from this range here. Yeah, it put us about to 0.66, a little bit under. I think we could do that this year. But I'm watching for us to hit that level of previous resistance here and get a third knockdown. If we don't make it up there, guys, and we fall below, we do have a VWAP coming in here from this low over here. Maybe get a bounce catch on that. But if we lose that, very likely going to head back down to that $80,200 range. Something I actually think that we might get a little pump up So yeah, that's what we talked about there on Friday, right? And on the chart, and or actually on Wednesday for for Thanksgiving. We did return right to the area that we talked about. And the reason that I think that that's relevant now is because we sat here as resistance all day long into the night. Um, can't just say I was right. He has to show a video. No, I'm not saying I was right. I'm talking about what happened. Buck, I'm not even going to acknowledge you. You're a jerk. Um, we moved up here. We have broken above it, but you can see this candle is now getting all of its price action absorbed back down and keeping us below that 0.66. What level am I watching here? And what would make me turn bullish would be that we get back above the 0.618 here, which about 94,237 would also be above the dynamic reactor. And then right above that level is the quantum reactor. I'll show you why I'm thinking that these levels are going to be critical for us, because we've had two touches on these, one here back in November 10th and two of them here actually for quite a bit of period of time, a couple of days here back in the end of October. And that was quantum reactor resistance and then dynamic reactor resistance that I do think are going to be key areas for us to get above and then push higher if we're going to do that. Again, I got an article today saying $100,000 might be a target to watch, but what would that look like? Well, it's going to be the 50. And as I've always said, if we come upwards into a 50% fib and reject off of it, that typically leads to even more bearish price action. Put it here on the daily, and you'll see that a return to that level would still put us as a lower low and a lower high, right? So even if that happened on the higher time frame, it wouldn't be a big game changer for me. We would need to get above this level, hold it for a couple of days. At that point, I start to get a little more bullish, and then get a bounce up through the 50. At that level, then we could start talking, okay, there's a possibility here above 100,000 that we might return back. And we'll take a look at that 52-week SMA, bull market support bands. What levels are they coming in at here in a little bit? But let's go ahead and jump over into the news. And let's get that news knocked out and see how that's looking for us, because some stuff over there we need to break down and talk about it. So appreciate everyone joining us here so far on the show. Well, we got 108 people in here watching, and you guys are awesome. Appreciate every single last one of you guys. If you haven't done so yet,
I'm gonna pump those numbers up.
smash hit the like button. It helps us out tremendously. Let's get into the news and let's talk about that. Looking at the news right now, the crypto market cap totals, we're sitting at $3.137 trillion right now. Trend on this is at 4.727 trillion. So we're currently about 33.6% undervalued from fair value. And that's right there. That's that red line on this chart here. So currently sitting about almost 34% undervaluation. What else do we got here? On the charts, let's go take a look at the risk bands. And of course, I am looking to see where we go from here on this, because currently right now in wristband speak, we're at 0.429, which is a 3x DCA. I think we're going to actually end up seeing this thing come down this weekend and break into the 3 zone. That would be like a 0.39, 0.38, whatever. And that would be a 4x DCA at that level. This is all part of the Piper plan in our Discord. But yeah, I'm watching this closely right now over the weekend. I think if we don't get above those levels and we get a pullback, probably going to be sitting at a little bit lower risk bands to buy in at, and that's what I'll be looking to deploy. Again, though, looking at best days to DCA, and we'll take a look at this for 2025. So let's put this in 2025. Bring this all the way into January 1st. There you go. We're going to take a look here at this, and you can see Friday and Saturdays. Tuesday's the best day during the week, like the main week. But Friday, Saturday, those DCA days have tended to give us a better performance level for dollar cost averaging overall. And this is best days to DCA historical for just 2025. Yeah, it looks like Friday and Saturday are the best days, and Saturday being the best, Friday being the second best, Tuesday the third best. So I'm thinking going into this weekend, we will see it pull back into those levels. How are we looking on the alt season index today? Alt season index currently sitting at 33.33. It's currently neither Bitcoin nor altcoin season. We are currently sitting at 33% and heading down to that 25 range. We hit that 25 range, we would put it as that would put us there in the green box. Hitting that green box is going to be setting us up for Bitcoin season. And we're already seeing a little bit of that. I'll show you on the bubbles here in a little bit that Bitcoin's doing pretty good today overall. Let me check my notifications here, make sure I don't have anything new that I missed to put in here. Let's see. No, doesn't look like it. Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, let's take a look at the bookmarks here on X marks the spot. It's currently right now sitting in fear on the fear and greed index. This is as of 1 hour ago, most recent poll, sitting at 25 for our score and in fear. We're out of extreme fear now, which is a good thing, but overall, not quite getting out of that fear sector, right? And of course, fear, blood in the streets, right? That's when we dollar cost average. Also, some stuff on Kabisi letter. Alternative data shows U.S. layoffs are surging. We are not getting any more data this week, and we're going to have a delay on the jobs data for November that's supposed to be coming out in December, and that got pushed to after the FOMC. So we're already seeing some reporting, though, that says, hey, we may be pretty bad on ADP jobs. We'll look at that here in a bit on the economic calendar. Job cuts tracked by Macro Edge jumped 70,609 month over month in October, which we did not get any of that data in November. That data all going to be rolled into later on. All we got so far was September's data. So monthly job cuts have now exceeded 100,000 for the fifth time this year. At the same time, layoff announcements compiled by Challenger Gray spiked 99,000 plus 99,000 jobs to 153,000, the highest since March. This also marks the highest monthly number for any October in 22 years. All while employees notified of mass layoffs via warn notices, meaning that they have to give 60 days notice that they're going to be laying people off. That's what a warn notice is. Tracked by Revelio rose about 11.9 thousand last month to 43,626, the second highest in at least 2 years. So U.S. layoffs are accelerating. You can see here on the chart, macros, challengers, Revelio, and then Revelio, that's a Harry Potter thing. Employees laid off spiking pretty hard there, especially this challenger and macro edge. So let's see what else we got in the X marks the spot today. U.S. housing market being broken. I'm glad I sold my house when I did. That was a good thing. Let me put the widget back down there at the bottom because we got a little gap. There we go. So you can say gap on my show. It's okay. Alex O, crypto. Appreciate you, bro. The U.S. housing market is broken. On average, the price of a new single-family home has traded below the price of existing single-family homes. So let's talk about this. New homes, brand new builds, are actually being sold below the same style, same footage, same number of bedrooms, so on and so forth, that we're seeing on existing homes for 12 months now. The first such occurrence in 54 years. We've never seen new homes be cheaper than existing homes in 54 years. This comes as the price of new homes fell below the price of an existing home in 2024 for the first time since 2005. By comparison, new homes were 10% more expensive just 3 years ago, measured by the 12-month moving average. The difference was as much as 40% back in 2012, following the 2008 financial crisis. Something is seriously wrong with the housing market. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think this is because people don't trust the quality of new construction today? Or is this that these builders are sitting on all this inventory and they have to drop their prices so that they're not paying taxes on all of this land and all this stuff that they can't sell? Or do you think it's both? Could be both of them. Who knows? But I personally, I would much prefer to find like a 20-year-old home that's got some really good bones and put some money in it, as opposed to a brand new build. I just don't think that the quality of new builds, in my opinion, is does not really equate to the quality that you would have got from older builders. But yes, Buck says yes, because the builders are willing to take the hit to move stock they are about to get stuck with. Yeah, I think that has to do with it. But I also think there's a lot of fear out there on the quality of new builds and how fast they technically build nowadays. I mean, hell, if you go and look at a 2x4, there's a thing out there I saw not long ago. They were weighing 2x4, same cuts, that was taken out of an old home from like the 60s versus today. And big difference in the quality of wood. It's not as dense or as hard as it used to be. So Yeah. So I think new builds kind of scare people too. I mean, look at all the houses you go into and you can look at the wall and it's just doing this. I've seen some houses like that when I was looking around. Yeah. New builds are shitty. Yes, they are, man. Facts. So yeah, that not seeing some weirdness there, but I do think a lot of it is just inventory. These new builders, they've got to get this off of their books, especially going into the new tax year, January. You know, that they got to have that off their books. Retail investors are rewriting the market playbook. Individual investors, retail. Everyone said when retail rolls in, and they always talk about how all these institutions are buying, and they talk about BlackRock's dumping and BlackRock's buying. Guys, individual investors are now on track for their 23rd consecutive monthly net purchase of stocks. This is only behind the 32-month streak that occurred between April 2020 and November 2022. Furthermore, retail has been the net buyer of ETFs for 158 consecutive trading days. Retail investors have net sold ETFs in just 6 days since the beginning of 2024. All while individual investors have purchased more calls than put options on net for 29 consecutive weeks. That's the longest streak on record. Individual investors are redefining the markets. Guys, retail's here. So anyone that tells you they haven't been here or they're not here yet, they're out of their mind. They are the ones buying everything. And probably a smart move, but I hope they don't all get stuck holding the bag when it starts to crash down. That's all I got there on X marks the spot. Let's jump over into liquidations for the past 24 hours. In the past 24 hours, 91,715 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $213.7 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was a Bitcoin trade for $5.82 million bucks. Look here, Bitcoin shorts getting mad liquidated. Ethereum, if it's red, it means that it was shorts. If it's green, it was longs. Ethereum shorts getting liquidated. Zcash longs getting liquidated. Not seeing a big moves happen here across everything. Solana, I mean, we'll look at the bubbles here in a second, but you'll see it's not equal across the board how the markets have been moving, and a lot of chop and volatility. So looking at the TradFi market right now, market's opened about 45 minutes ago. Dow Jones is currently up about 0.47%. S&P is up 0.3, and the NASDAQ up is about 0.3%. Russell 2K up about 0.4. And the volatility index, this is a good sign to see, down under that 17 mark. But I think a lot of people are just kind of avoiding the markets today overall because it's only a half day. They close at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. I do believe that is the time, but yeah, it's only a half day for the markets for Black Friday. How are we looking on the bonds market? 10-year Treasury yield getting sold off. That's why it's green, sitting at 4.0. But it was pulled down pretty hefty into a 3.9 area. Now we're back in that 4.0 as some people are selling it off. Looking at oil, it's almost back at that $60 mark after the fears of what was going to happen with Ukraine, kind of playing some volatility in the oil region there. But yeah, $59.26 a barrel, 24 cents a barrel, I should say. Coffee, it's good. I got a gingerbread blend for the holidays, and it's pretty good coffee. Looking at gold, it's at $4,228. We talked about this. Don't fade gold. I don't know what everyone was thinking when it pulled back, but it was hitting some key support levels and now starting to bounce again. Silver absolutely ripping heads off. It's at $55.81 and continuing on its way up 4% up today. Copper is up 1.5%. Platinum is up 5%. Palladium is up 2.2% today. Metals are the ones cleaning up on the market right now. If you guys aren't tracking about this, the CME futures. So what is the CME futures? It's where most of your CME group is where most of your futures are traded at. It's also why we see CME gaps on Bitcoin when you guys hear about that. When you see things like overnight, and you can see pre-market movement versus that's futures, right? That's all tracked by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Stock futures resume trading after a halt caused by a cooling issue at data centers. Guys, remember we were talking about data centers and I said, keep an eye on copper and those cooling companies too, because those are going to be big factors for these data centers. There you go. Cooling, improper cooling at a data center caused a shutdown at the CME Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Let's see what it says here. Trading gradually resumed after coming to a standstill in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange on Friday as a cooling issue at one of its data centers impacted traders across the globe. Stock futures and options trading reopened fully at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All CME Group markets are open and trading, according to a spokesperson. But earlier, a representative for the CME Group had told CNBC Markets that they were halted due to a cooling issue at Cyrus One data centers, adding that it may take some time for moves in the impacted contracts to be seen once the outage was resolved. I know this screwed Jay Violet up on a gold trade she was trying to do, but if you're willing to work, you can bring in over 100K a year. That's true. That's true. 94 or 91.5K first. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I think, well, come on. It would obviously be 91.5K first, wouldn't it? No, wait, we're above that right now. Yeah, probably that first. We'll see. We'll talk about it in a second, A to A's. Guys are right here. I can see what you guys are saying. This cooling issue earlier, spokesperson for Dallas, Texas headquarters, Cyrus One, told CNBC that the company was actively responding to a cooling issue. Pretty much just going to keep repeating the same thing. But guys, this goes back to those data centers needing those proper cooling. If anybody knows this, it's Buck. Buck does. There's a reason that Buck has liquid cooled Bitcoin mining rigs at his facility. So there's a reason for that. So if you guys don't know, Buck may have it coming soon where you can buy fractionalized mining. So I can't afford a whole mining rig, but I can afford 10% of one. Give me 10% of the rewards off of that. And that's going to be like full contract, legit business to your wallet directly type setup. So I'm very interested in that when it comes to being Buck. When it happens, you let me know. Let's take a look at here, the bubbles. Bitcoin up 1.9% on the daily. Ethereum up plus 2.6%. Let's refresh. Okay, yeah, we're good. XRP is up 2.4% also, but BNB sitting at 1%. Solana 1%. Bitcoin actually performing quite a bit here when you get outside of those top three, XRP and Ethereum and Bitcoin there. Other big movers, Hyperliquid is up 4.1% today. Stellar Lumens is up 3.5%, moved up on spot on the top 20 list there to number 15. Zcash down 4.8% on the daily, sitting at 473.75. It had a big dump yesterday. HBAR is up 2.7. Sui is up 3.8. I mean, so pretty much overall, everything was pretty calm and chill. What is ADA up since ADA's in here? Cardano up 0.4%. Overall, things are pretty much up except for a few exceptions. But Bitcoin and those top ones, I mean, very few are above 1% plus. A lot of them sitting well below. So, economic calendar, nothing today going on the economic calendar, the macro side. We're looking here at the at next week, December 1st. Monday, we're going to get ISM manufacturing. There's some stuff in here I want to talk about. So manufacturing side, it looks like for November, this is a November report that we're getting in December. Should be a little bit higher here. That's what, if it's in the numbers, it's in the price, right? ISM manufacturing employment, this is actually expected to be a little bit higher also. Interesting. However, let's go down here and take a look. And guys, don't forget Monday, also, we're going to have an evening speech with Jerome Powell. So keep that in mind too. But let's look at some other numbers in here. ADP employment change for November. Okay. 42K was what it was last time. They're now expecting that it's going to be negative 15,000 jobs. So how I don't, sure, manufacturing, we might have had a little pump, but we're losing like way more on the other side of the manufacturing side. Initial jobless claims, 216, expecting it to be higher to 220K. So we're seeing some weakness in these job numbers that are probably going to really lean in heading into the FOMC, that we are going to get a rate cut because they're going to have to at this point. It's almost a knee-jerk reaction, an emergency response to what we're seeing on the weakening job numbers. You can also see here, we got a couple of other things. Friday, we're going to get core PCE. This is expected to be flat, meaning inflation is not going down, but it's not going up, which leans more into, hey, we got to focus on what's going on with jobs right now, not worry about that inflation. It's not getting too bad yet. So definitely going to be getting a rate cut, in my opinion, on December 10th. Michigan consumer sentiment, this is expected to be slightly higher. We'll see how that turns out next week. And then PCE price index, we aren't expecting to see any changes here, 0.3% expected off of the previously 0.3% here on month over month. But on year over year, it does look like the price index is actually expected to tick up, which means that it's more expensive this year than it was for last year. Keep in mind, this is all September data. We're still not getting October in December. So October data going to be rolled into November's. We should see that October, November rolled in and released later in December. So until that, prior to that FOMC, we're not expected to see much here in the way of jobs. And then following week, there on that following week, December 9th, which is right about the time of the FOMC. That's the Tuesday and Wednesday FOMC numbers. Jolt's job opening is expected to be slightly down too. So we're not seeing any good news in the jobs side of the world. And hopefully inflation can stay at bay while these job numbers are getting shaken out. And we don't end up with stagflation. So let's go back over and check out the chat real fast. And we'll come back and talk about these articles here. I want to go look at the chart. We got all kinds of stuff to do. Let's go jump back over here. All right. For real, Keith banned me. Mark Dutch, did you get banned? What'd you get banned for? Who knows? Who knows with you, Dutch? I love you, man. But sometimes, bro, you just talk shit. Mad shit. That's why I love him. Crypto Bedell, hello all. Yes, because builders are willing. Okay, cool. JR, come drink and smoke with Crypto Bedell and I tonight on Crypto on the Rocks. So what time is that tonight? Let us know. Drop a link down there, somebody. Okay, let's see what else we got here. 94, yeah, I got to talk about that ADA Ace. We'll take a look. Not enough people that know what they are doing. If you're willing to work, you can bring in over 100K a year. It's true. It's true. Not only can you bring in 100K a year, you can have a high demand for your skill set. So sobriety speeches, right? Afternoon. Dutch, why you think I haven't joined in the past 4 weeks? Oh, Dutchy. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times for Crypto on the Rocks, Crypto Bedell said. So appreciate that. Guys, make sure you guys go join that and check it out tonight. Let's go in and check out this chart. I want to talk about that 94K level. We are trying to pump right now. It looks like we're moving into my box. We're moving into the box. I'm watching this level here, and you asked if it was 90. Okay, 94K. We'll go with 94K now that I have a chart in front of me, Ada. I think that we do hit that. 94,237 is actually where I'm watching for a key rejection. That's the start of my resistance box here, and it runs as high as 96. So I do think we're going to hit that 94K first. You can see down here, money flow is slightly green on the 4-hour. We got a nice turnaround here. You guys know how I always talk about that. Look, price can go sideways and reset this stuff. That's what happened. We got a pretty decent reset oscillator ribbon. Now it's returning to the upside. Money flow is coming to the upside, and it looks like we have a slight turn up on volume here on the 4-hour. So I would not be surprised to see 94,237. Now, what happens when we get there? That's going to be the big question. Are we going to bounce and get, OC retest and then we continue up? What's going to happen with the quantum reactor when it hits that? As of right now, these are two previous zones that have not done well for us. We can see here back in, again, November 10th, we had a rejection perfect off of that dynamic reactor. And then we had a massive period of rejection here on the quantum reactor, here on the quantum reactor. So there on the dynamic reactor, these are two key levels that we need to get above if we're expected to continue up to the $100,000 range. Okay, looking at the higher time frames, I am watching the levels up here, which are pretty much in line with the bull market golden pocket tops here that I even called out over a year ago. But you can see the 52-week coming in right here, right now. It's at about 102. So we could actually technically continue all the way up to about 102,000 and get rejected and still be in a crypto winter bear market setup that we've seen every single cycle previously. When we lose this level, this 52-week, that becomes a critical level of resistance. Bull market support band is also coming in at like 106 to $111,000, which would just be a lower high on the weekly also, even at that level. And still not out of the woods. So, but yeah, first things first, I do think that we need to get above $96,000. There's an article over here I want to talk about. And it is talking about why the pressure on Bitcoin may linger into the year end. And then we'll talk about this $100,000 range that they're calling for to be hit. So Bitcoin has fallen over the past few weeks and will likely continue trading lower through the end of the year as newer investors sell tokens and exchange trade ETFs tied to it. The largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization traded around 89,800, down more than 20% over the past month and about 30% off the asset's record high, just north of 126. That was hit back in October. It's actually like 126.2 something, depending on what exchange you were on, but that's out there. That's what we're seeing. What we got in here? What's up, JR? Linger or because Dave Digital's in the house. Double D, what's up? He said, I'm lurking out. Like 28 is Dave Digital's. Appreciate you, man. The decline comes amid liquidations of high leverage crypto positions, with traders pulling out of risk on investments into risk off assets such as gold due to mixed economic data and worries about the valuation in artificial intelligence stocks. Is it a bubble? Who knows? It could be, may not be, may continue to go up regardless of it being a bubble for quite some time. The halving happens every 4 years. We know about that. We'll continue on. As a digital currency struggles, investors who got in at Bitcoin when it was trading above the $100,000 mark are likely to sell in a panic, putting more pressure on the asset in the near term. So they're saying that it could be a period here where we just get more lows and more lows and more lows for the rest of the year. And then we're looking at January going, okay, now it's the bull year, right? When it technically, if you believe it, if you subscribe to the 4-year cycle, would technically be the crypto winter that they're talking about then. He added the capitulation from the top buyers, including hodlers that bought above 100,000, will likely signify Bitcoin is hammering out a bottom. The analyst suggested that investors who got into Bitcoin through ETFs, which were approved early last year, could especially be driving the token sell-off. So that's what they're saying. But let's talk about this $100,000 level, guys. And again, as I showed you, we could hit this $100,000 level and it still would not confirm a bull market. It would actually cause even more pain, because I think the people that were thinking about if it goes any lower, I'm going to sell, would actually start seeing this and get more bullish again. And then you cause all of this mad flush in to come into crypto because it's going up. We're back on. Bull market's back. Of course, all of the craptastic content creators out there would not help with the it's back. We're so back thumbnails, right? So you would get a lot of people that would buy in, and this thing would just continue to become a liquidity grab for all the FOMO money that comes in, and then they get wrecked also because they're now liquidity exit for people that want to get out. But after a 30% peak to trough decline, we think Bitcoin is now poised to continue its reflex rally at least back. There you go, at least back towards 100K. Okay. The digital asset was last traded about $92,000, up nearly 10% for the last 5 days. However, Bitcoin is still down 20% over the past month due to a combination of macroeconomic and crypto-specific factors. For one, some investors are pulling out of risk-on investments into risk-off assets such as gold, amid ongoing concerns about the valuation of AI stocks. Separately, long-term Bitcoin holders are selling off some of their holdings due to a commonly shared conviction that Bitcoin's price follows a 4-year pattern based on its blockchain's regularly scheduled programmatic updates that are just designed to make its token progressively scarcer over time. Despite that, Bitcoin is still on track to regain some of its losses through the end of the year, according to Cypher Mining and TerraWolf, showing impressive during the crypto, said that showing impressive during the crypto pullback. Cypher Mining is up 35% since Monday, while TerraWolf is trading 31% higher. In addition, the Barclays Crypto Mining Index has held support and likely has another 15% upside. So, of course, these are, you got to look at bias, right? Source bias. So these are mining companies. Their businesses, their stocks are really what matters to them because it allows them to cover operations, to cover during sell-offs of their where Bitcoin's price is not that they mined is not making up for what they have in energy prices. So of course they're going to tell their shareholders it's not over yet, right? So because that's another source of income for these companies when they're publicly traded. So don't be surprised. There could be a little bit of bias in this, but they're still talking about $100,000. I think it's possible when we look at the chart. I don't think it's completely off, unhinged. $100,000 again. We would be above that if we hit the 50. That's $100,358. So would not be too surprised to see that happen overall. Looking at the returns history right now, where are we at? Because it's even better now than what it was when that article came out. Yeah, we're only down 15.8% for the month. Way better than what we were talking about at the beginning of the month of 36.5. So about a 20% difference there. But overall, I don't. Either way, we're prepared, right? We're DCAing. If it goes up, great. Our DCA turns into some really good profit because we've been buying more as it went down, right? The dynamic DCA model. And if it goes down, then we're just going to buy cheaper. That's just it. I'm not buying any altcoin still. I'm still focusing only on Bitcoin. I am in a short from the golden pocket on Bitcoin right now. But that's because if it goes up against it, then my DCA is making significantly more money than what the short is losing. And then I close it off at the stop loss and call it a day, right? Okay, cool. We're going up. Now I'm going to make the money on the long. So I'm just really using the short to hedge at this point, guys. But I appreciate everyone that joined me here today. That's about all I got, you guys. Have a great weekend. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And I'm hoping that you guys are ready for next week, because next week we got a lot of economic data. Make sure you guys are tuned in right here. Hopefully OC is back next week for all of the morning shows and his trade setups with OC guy, because it's been a sad week without him at the Black Friday stuff. If you guys haven't done your Black Friday buys yet for your Trading View, I did that this morning. Got a good discount on that. Remember, you can double stack those. And then also, if you guys are interested in picking up Chart Prime, go to chartprime.com. They have a great Black Friday sale going on, even better than my discount. Just use BF for Black Friday, 50, all caps. You guys will be able to pick that up. So appreciate you guys. We'll be back here next Monday morning. Hopefully, BC Port Corp is back over there with Good Morning Crypto on Monday morning. We'll be on at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you guys the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace, love, profits. We're out of here. Have a great weekend.
That's the rap. Chart stack, data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done. We'll see you at the next one.
What the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude. Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?